Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Réjon, and I am the lead UI UX and audio for Spirit Swap. And today, we wanted to give you a first-time look at the skeleton of our story mode with a little bit of a deep dive into our user interface design. If you're new here, Spirit Swap is an action puzzle game set in a world of witchy demons, all taking place in the eastern outskirts of Demashq. To explain kind of this spider map that you're seeing, be not afraid. Before you kick off each day or each run that you have in our game to go hang out with your friends, you'll have the opportunity to change up your playstyle by decorating your room, swapping out your spells, chatting with the locals, and much more, as you can tell from this giant map. These features are spread out in what we call Samar's room, and what better place to start than decorating your room. The idea behind this feature is that you'll be able to swap out the individual pieces of furniture that you discover as you venture through Demashq and meet up with your friends. Our initial concepts with this started with showing the entire room isometrically, and honestly, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? We believe that this form factor gives you the least amount of friction for seeing how like Samar lives and seeing what's equipped without overloading you with a ton of textual information. However, if that information is something that you're looking for, by selecting any of the slots in the room to swap out, you can get a little bit more information about this beautiful lavender ripple rug and a bunch of lorem ipsum text, kind of just to get an idea of how much text will be needed and how much real estate that'll take up on the screen. But the thing to really highlight here is that the entire menu is essentially moving with the art. We are taking this isometric, beautiful piece of work by our artist Dice. And what happens when you select is that we will essentially transition and zoom in on a piece of that element in the room. The idea or the design philosophy here is that the UI should never get in the way of the art, essentially allowing you as a player to soak in as much as the world as possible. You might have heard this if you follow any UI jargon around the industry as diegetic UI. And while this leans in that direction, we aim to kind of have more of a careful balance between diegetic and non-diegetic UI, mostly because if it's too diegetic, then we're not providing you with enough context to really understand what you're seeing. And at the end of the day, good UI design is function and communication. So in part of that, and talking about the jargon and wizardry of UI, why don't we talk about spells a little bit? If you spent some time with our demo, you're probably familiar with our square spell. However, some days you may be feeling more diamond than square. So what better than to enable you to change your spell loadout before heading out for the day? Taking a look at what will soon be the altar in Samar's room, this is where you can change out your active gameplay effects through spells to give yourself more options as you're swapping. As you familiarize yourself with the cast and build relationships, you'll get to see these spells used in action. And if somebody's really digging you, they'll give you their spell to equip in your room in the form of a keepsake, or at least for the sake of this video, our good friend the teddy bear. We'll dive into spells a little bit more in the future, but this menu aims to be another case of if it's not broken, don't fix it. You might see this selectable grid on the left here being reiterated as a pattern throughout most of our UI, and the biggest reason for this is because I believe, at least from the thing that I tried to push as my signature through UI design, is that the way you play the game should also be the way that you interact with the menus, essentially helping you as a player gain muscle memory through using our menus to get better at the game without you actually having to do a tutorial or anything to add any friction to your experience. This kind of enables you to almost get faster at using the grid in normal gameplay. And that is absolutely the little secret hint, the little secret sauce in all of our menus. While we try to be as diegetic as possible, we also aim to make sure that the game feels as much and as close as to what the in-world game board scene would feel like in our menus. And also, if you're looking for more secret information about our characters in regards to keepsakes or anything that you gain through the world, there is a little fun fact feature that we're hoping to dig in there. So can't wait for you to learn a little bit more about that. But I don't want to say too much. I'm about to get pulled off the stage by my partners. And essentially we've covered a little bit, but there is so much more to cover. And we don't really want to spoil too much soon. We absolutely want you to be able to deep dive into the massive world and room of Samar, right? You would think for such a small isometric room that we offer here for you to decorate, we give you a vast amount of features to be able to learn how Samar lives, and maybe Samar lives a little bit like you. Hey, as always, thank you for watching, and you can keep up with our game by following us on Twitter at SoftNotWeak, or if you have any questions about what we've presented, you're more than welcome to hit us up on our Discord, which is also SoftNotWeak. Thanks for watching.
We can swap spirits in the afternoon.